Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen. We talking about.
Hey, this is Matthew Harvey with the 12 o'clock siren recording live in the 903 Broadband Studios on the Cowboy Corner on the southeast side of the downtown Leonard Square. On my left hand is James texting Hartley.
I am texting. On my left is Jason Fuller.
I'm not texting.
Howdy, folks.
What were you doing?
Looking up the Super Bowl score so we could talk about our predictions
Yeah, that's how we left maybe the last recap.
when we were all together.
Yeah,
I think so.
we were all together. So we got some late quarter Super Bowl talk. Off the top, what was that final score? Did you check it?
Hey, you just looked at it. You gotta do it again.
Well,
Hey, you
I
gotta
was
remember it.
interrupted.
Yeah.
You're all good. I think it was, 32?
31 to 20.
20.
Mhm.
31 goes to the Chiefs of Kansas City. 20 goes to the 49ers of San Francisco. Stan Fran's Disco.
Mhm.
So 31-20.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. James was pretty close.
With a
28-21.
There you go.
it's pretty good.
Jason was a bit off, but, 20 points off. 10 points off. 40-21.
The game actually went how I thought it would go.
It
It
did?
just took a little longer to go that way than I thought.
Well, I went backwards, as many of you may
You
know.
did.
35-21. So our numbers were all pretty close.
Did we all pick the Chiefs?
No, I didn't.
Uh-huh.
So I said,
Mm.
yeah.
So numbers don't really matter because you picked the wrong team anyway.
Right. Yep. I didn't know much about it either. So so there's
What
that.
Super Bowl was this?
LXI,
What, I don't-
LIX, LIV,
I don't-
LIV, I think.
I don't
or
even know.
LIIV.
Well, can you translate that to stupid?
57? 53.
So we had a man here earlier that
IIV.
predates the Super Bowl
Yeah.
by quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by
Yeah.
far, yeah.
You know,
First Super Bowl was in, 60s?
was it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
this
think it
is
was.
Super Bowl LIV.
LIV, so that would be 54.
54.
I don't.
Jeopardy does numbers in Roman,
That's good.
or answers that come up in Roman. It's pretty fun to play along with that. I take guesses at some of those. You'll see some of them, like Eminem is, Millennium.
Mm-hmm.
Was that 1,000?
Yeah, I guess. 1,000
guess.
millennium. Yeah.
MM. It used to show up on money, I think.
Really?
Where's that MM at? I used to read it on some sort of label.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I'm not good at Roman numerals.
Yeah.
I'm not.
VX. That's about where I draw the line. I think a D might be 50,
Deca? 10?
10.
I don't know. No, that's an
No.
X, right?
X is 10, yeah.
See? I must have fallen
So
asleep that day.
We'll see is something too.
Oh.
C is 100.
Centurion, right?
D is 500.
500.
M is 1,000.
1,000. Yep.
No.
And
guess
of
that
course,
makes
you know
sense.
the I's and the X's and the V's.
What are
correct?
eyes?
Eyes are
I
ones.
is 1.
Right. Oh, yeah. I
Um,
guess that makes sense.
And once it gets to 4, the I is in front of a V.
Yeah. If it's under 5, it subtracts in front and then it adds on if it's behind.
Correct.
Mm.
That is
So
correct.
3 I's and a V.
It's also in front of at 9.
It works the same way with the X.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
9
then
is-
so on. It just gets way more confusing.
yeah.
It's all right.
the
Y'all
further
just
out
taught
you
me
get.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I
learned
understand the premise of it. It's just really
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I found it.
never really delved too much into it, to be quite honest, more than what you see on TV and advertising.
So we're
So 2016
yeah, we're
translates
recording.
to MMXVI.
Yeah.
That is 2016.
I think it might have been in commercials, like in the small text at the bottom. You might see the layout of the
some legal
for
reason.
whatever reason they do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2020 would be MMXX.
But I remember noticing it more often when it was the 2000 because it was MM.
Mm.
Cool.
All right. Well, enough about Roman numerals.
All right. Jeez. Starting this one off on a really hot note, thanks to YouTube.
Yeah.
We're hopefully going to be on YouTube if that SD card
We
doesn't
will.
fill up.
Yeah.
Speaking of YouTube, Matthew, your video for the hometown takeover done by HGTV.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
me check on it real quick.
Got a lot of shares. I know that. I didn't expect a quarter of the shares it got.
No, the the shares are more impressive than the views to me, because the views, people are searching that on YouTube as a part of HGTV.
Yeah, they'll come up naturally.
Right. But I mean, almost 200 shares
Yeah.
from
Yeah, very cool.
our
Thank you
page.
guys. Thank you all for sharing that. Sadly, it doesn't mean anything in getting chosen or anything, but it certainly shows the support that the town has gotten.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Where are we at? I'm pulling it up on our.
There's a bunch of them out there. I YouTube just or I search the hometown submission or hometown application video. There's probably 200 plus. I know a bunch of towns around here have done it.
Yeah. I heard Trenton has one. I looked for it and I haven't found it.
Yeah, I saw one from Trenton, one from Cooper.
Have you watched it? Was it good?
I saw part of the Trenton one. The Cooper one I saw. Cooper one was pretty good. And you probably know how they say Cooper.
Cooper.
Yeah. They made light of that in it.
Oh, really?
But it looked really
Cool.
pretty well produced.
So, folks in my Sunday school class today said that yours was cleaner than some they've seen.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, that's good to hear.
you did a
I wasn't
great
going
job.
for any sort of superb
It was last minute.
production values. It was really just me driving around the Jeep, getting B-roll, and doing a voiceover on this.
Your
this
monologue
came in easy.
was great.
Thanks.
It was really well written, and
Yeah.
you said a lot of things that.
I sat here for probably 30 minutes just redoing it until it went perfect. I did it I broke it out into pieces, but
it was good.
So as of right now, it's got 189 shares, which is
that's
great,
great. Yeah.
and 4,500 views.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's pretty
That
good.
jumped up a lot.
Well, you remember we went after the show the other night when you uploaded it.
Right.
It was like 171 views, and we're like, man, that's cool. And then it
Yeah.
was like 500.
Yeah.
Then it was 1,000, all within just a.
There for a minute. The first day, you're going to get most of your traction probably the first day or two, obviously. But yeah, it jumped like crazy. Everybody seemed to like it. So thank you very much for your
Cool.
support.
Fingers crossed. Maybe we'll win.
Yeah, that's the goal of this thing, is to get some
What are they gonna
folks
do
here.
exactly?
The thought behind, or when I saw, before I sent the link to Matthew, when I saw it, I think it was Ashley that showed it to me, was like private residences, public spaces, or public buildings, and park spaces.
Oh wow!
So
they're
kinda-
gonna facelift some houses
Yes.
and
Yeah.
some businesses
Yeah.
and the
Create
parks.
their
parks
expertise
and-
is kind of in the house, and then the town comes in with like our
Wouldn't it be
Leonard-
cool for them to
Leonard
help,
Park.
like with the park and
Well,
so
park and the picnic, yeah.
so the
that's
picnic could be
that's why
better?
I tried to spotlight a lot of that
Wow.
picnic thing that we do here. I mean, they want you to tell about the events that happen in your
Wow.
town.
Maybe they'll renovate my house.
Man,
Yeah,
That'd be
well,
great.
I know a couple buildings.
yeah,
I'd shake your hand.
I'll make it public.
yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to. But yeah, hopefully we get noticed at least.
That'd be cool.
How many towns are they doing? Just one?
It's they're only doing one. The submission criteria was your town had to be less than 40,000
Yeah.
people.
Peeper. We luckily have less than 40,000
We're
peeper.
just barely made the cut there.
Yep.
What was the other stuff? There wasn't much. Just
That was it.
highlighting parts of towns.
Yeah.
That,
No.
You
parts
did a
of the
great
town
job, man. Really
Hey,
good.
thanks. I think we got a lot going on with the construction too, and that's what my thing behind the story. This is just me really telling the story. Nobody contributed to what I talked about. It was just kind of what I thought of the town, and with Garney Construction and out there at the water treatment facility, that's going to be a big turning point, kind of economically here. And like I said in the video, they're kind of already doing a lot to stimulate the economy as it is.
Yeah, I think the point is to kind of show growth and
Yeah.
We've got a cool town and there's a lot of history here, but we know growth's coming. So let's get
preserve
these folks
what we
in.
have and kind of what we're doing with this thing. Look to the future and
Welcome the new.
welcome new folks coming in. Yeah.
What do y'all guys got going on the rest of the weekend? Trying to not.
It's Sunday here.
I think I'm
We're
gonna
not-
watch a little XFL later. I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch the Dallas Renegades.
Renegades, yeah. I was going to go to that game, but I'm deciding with the inclement weather to not.
So you are a fair weather fan.
Absolutely.
It's day 2 of XFL, and you're
Yeah.
like, nah.
They haven't even had their first game yet.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'll watch it on TV.
So I watched a couple XFL games yesterday, and surprisingly, the product that they put out, I figured would be fun because the rules are catered to higher scoring games and more fan friendly scores and stuff like that. But the fans were really into it.
Yeah.
There was times in the games I watched when the fans were loud, like influenced the game loud.
Yeah. If there's ever a time for somebody to make a run at the NFL, it's right now.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
My whole deal is maybe they don't take on the NFL. They just give us another platform.
What is the XFL doing to combat concussions? I think we need to talk about this already.
Already, yeah.
Well, I can tell you this. There were some hits yesterday, and the players that delivered the hits would hop up and look around for flags, but they never came.
They never came.
So it's a more hard-hitting league. It's going to give you some football that you may remember.
I wonder, did anybody kneel for the anthem?
I didn't catch any anthems or anything.
Yeah, I bet
Not
they
sure.
don't even. I bet they're leery of that.
Yeah, I think
You
so. It's owned by Vince McMahon, who owns WWE, and I think he came out. I may be just painting this picture that doesn't belong, but I think he made some pretty strong
Remarks about
about how he felt about that. So maybe they don't want to
that.
if they want to keep a job.
Well, and Mr. McMahon learned the first go around with the XFL to let's not let it be wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's
There were-
important too to mention the type of athlete that is in this league.
Yeah.
Maybe second, third, last chance guys,
Right.
and maybe this isn't the time to
Bring all that other
Yeah,
nonsense in.
to say where you stand on certain political views.
I'm just trying to get paid. Son.
Yeah, they just want a job.
So
You think there's more heart going in that XFL than maybe a college player?
Well, yeah, I
I
think
mean, that's
so.
the question, right?
I don't know about college. College is a different animal to me than professional football.
Yeah.
that's what Houston said.
Now I heard that. I heard that on YouTube, as a matter of fact, when I
There you go.
listened, and you guys did a great job. Thanks for working in my questions, by the way.
Welcome.
Yeah, I think college is a little different, but these guys, like we said, are on their last opportunity at football, most likely.
Yeah.
So,
That's a small window.
yeah, and,
They're also starting out, a brand new platform for football. So
now
there's got to be something, hoping to keep that alive too, because the last time was obviously a big failure.
Yeah.
Now you got these guys that are like, we want to make it work.
That's
this
true.
I
time.
mean,
they
hey,
have-
Bob Stoops is coaching.
that's true.
That's no joke.
And
they
that's, and
have
that's pretty serious too.
more financial backing this time. I think the climate is probably more right for this
Friendly
league
to
to work out, and I don't know. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
More football, and when there's more products, the consumer wins.
Yeah.
So it's got to be better.
Yeah. The last one was just plagued with all kinds of
Yeah.
problems and drama up front. I remember one of the big games came up against SNL was involved in it. It was on
Oh,
a
really?
Saturday. It was like their first game ever, and they went long. The game went long, and SNL had to come in.
Oh well,
Well, I forget how it worked. The SNL come in.
I'm not sure about
I
that.
watched a big show about it and apparently didn't pay too much attention, but the first XFL is pretty fascinating to watch how it.
He hate me.
He hate me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something that I'm interested in to see if it plays out. And typically, any league, not the NFL, after a player leaves college, right? Any league, not the NFL, is considered like a last chance league. So I'm curious to see if players who announce themselves for the draft, maybe they don't get drafted, and rather than become an undrafted free agent in the NFL, might they go directly to the XFL?
Yeah.
That's what we hope
Yeah.
for, really.
That is what we hope for, because then they will compete with the NFL.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to see. If maybe back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember when Herschel Walker decided to leave the University of Georgia.
USFL.
He was a prodigy. He actually played for Donald Trump's team
There
in
you
the
go.
Yeah, yeah.
USFL. But it was an alternative league. He was signed for, I think, more than the team was worth. And ultimately, he found his way to the NFL, and the Cowboys.
I was going to
whole
say a lot
story
of
changed,
talents undiscovered in the latter
let's
rounds and
just
stuff. So
say-
you might have a Bo Jackson.
What if you have a big name college athlete like the next Johnny Manziel, instead of going to the NFL? What if he signs a major contract
Yeah.
to the XFL, and then another guy
It's
follows?
going to take probably one or two of those.
Oh yeah,
Really.
yeah. The first time they do it with
First
some
couple.
success, then these owners will say, "That's worth it. Let's do it again."
Yeah.
And then
Honestly,
you have
that's what
competition.
the NFL does need.
Well,
Competition, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, here's what's going to happen. The XFL is either going to succeed or it's not. But if it succeeds or not either, it's going to make the NFL better.
Oh,
They're
for
going to
sure.
start paying attention. They're going to start playing the competition,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
business-wise.
Yeah.
And it's so either way, we win.
Yeah, that's what we were
Yeah.
just saying. The consumer definitely will win when there's competition. It'll be curious to see, but The NFL, I know several years ago when they introduced the salary cap, it was to create more parity and to disrupt some of the dynasties. Well, what they got was a more watered-down league,
Yep.
and when there's a couple different variations of the same offenses and defenses, and that's all you got.
Yeah.
And they didn't kill the dynasty era because look at the Patriots.
Nope.
They just figured out how to do it in a salary cap era.
Right.
So I think something needs to happen, and I'll be honest, as much as I love football, it's my favorite sport, the NFL has lost me a little bit over the last few years. Maybe the XFL can be that thing to give it a shot in the butt.
What was it that Tom Brady, you talk about in the salary cap era? He's been taking a lower salary because he took options on some.
Well, to be fair,
Yeah.
he's afforded the ability to take less money because his wife
Yeah.
makes bukus of money.
He's not the breadwinner in
Yeah,
the relationship,
he's
which
really
is
not.
amazing.
Is he not?
No, Giselle's worth way more
He's
than
not
him.
the only quarterback to do so. Romo did that. He had backloaded contracts and things where they could keep some players. I know other quarterbacks have done it. But, yeah, he has taken less money, notably less than what he is probably worth per market value.
Absolutely.
So
Did you see that thing that Michael Irvin said? He confirmed, I don't even want to say this, it's disgusting. He confirmed that people in the Cowboys organization are having serious discussions about pursuing Tony Romo and firing Dak or trading or getting rid of. Can you believe that?
to get Romo back?
No, not Romo, sorry, Brady.
Oh, Brady. You know what? Actually, back earlier in the season before playoffs, I heard a rumor. And now the rumor has since kind of been thrown off track. But his offensive coordinator there at New England, who is regarded as a head coaching candidate
Sure.
and a can't-miss candidate soon, Josh McDaniels, is that his name? Now, he's been a coach before. But a lot of
Was he
people
at Denver?
thought maybe he would be hired on when Dallas's new coach, or maybe he would become Dallas's new coach. It's McCarthy now. He seems to have filled out his staff. But there were rumors that wherever McDaniels went, Brady might follow. I did hear an interesting rumor, and I can't confirm it, that Brady just bought property in Las Vegas, where the Raiders' new stadium is.
Mhm.
The Raiders
That's just for investment.
Raiders have a little
yeah,
bit
he's
of-
just going to put a burger place there.
Sure. The Raiders have a little bit of room to work, though, and they could make that deal
Yeah.
happen.
Is that why was that some undetected really good work you did the other day talking to Houston?
No. That was just
I was like-
me bumbling around.
You did. I mean, we
Yeah.
did discuss that.
yeah.
You know, him going to, I think I made that
Now,
Evan Smith
that's-
comment.
That talk has been around. Brady has ties to California. There's been
Okay.
several California teams talked about.
I can't confirm or deny anything, but one thing I have heard a lot is that the two, arguably the GOATs, that are left playing the quarterback position, which is Drew Brees and Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers too.
I'm not going to say that.
He didn't have
Brady
to, the
and
stats do.
Brees, they're both got to be towards the end of their career, right?
Mm.
Brees, I think, if it's not New Orleans, it's not football
Right.
next year.
Right.
Brady, however, surprisingly,
Loves to win.
we all thought he'd be there forever, and it's looking like he's not so married to New England anymore.
That's shocking.
It really is.
At that age, that's shocking.
I don't hate
he
it.
said a year or so ago that he wanted to play like 5 more years.
Yeah.
He's in great health, and if he's willing to take lesser money, he might plug into a team that just needs a quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe
And-
better weather.
Yeah.
Maybe doesn't want to play in ice bowl games all the time.
Yeah. We're up there
I
with
don't
the
know.
Dolphins.
lose your khakis,
Yeah.
go to Target and get
Smart
your
pack.
Starbucks. Yeah.
Smart
He's
pack.
tired of it.
Cigar bar.
Packed it.
Well, I saw Brady
Packed it
down
and
at
unpacked it.
Oh man, talking about athletes and stuff like that in general. We had Mr. RC Kuhn on here earlier, and I was really glad he didn't ask me if I rode horses, because I'd have to tell him I'm like allergic to them. And I'd just be embarrassed. It's like, oh man,
He's like,
what's wrong with
allergic?
you, boy?
What's that?
Yeah.
When's the last time you rode a horse?
10 years ago, maybe.
I'm going to go 25,
Really?
30 maybe. Yeah.
Wow,
I've been on a horse, but I was a kid.
Well, I'm trying to
Yeah.
think.
I'm actually kind of scared of horses.
I think I had a mohawk last time I rode a horse.
Well,
Perfectly,
y'all
that
have them out
thinning
there, right?
mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my sister's horse.
How many people with mohawks, not Mohicans, do you think
Right, I
have
was
been
going to say
on,
they're probably mostly
horses?
Native Americans.
have been on a horse?
I'm probably of pretty small group of people.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know that. That's whenever I die, that's one of
It's
the
an interesting statistic.
stats I'll be looking up.
Mm.
You can bet on that.
Oh yeah.
I'll come back and listen to the podcast and be like, yeah, I'm looking that up.
Yeah. Turns out there was only 3 of us.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, what
So-
else we got, guys?
I got.
What do we got coming up?
We're doing a little financial episode this Tuesday.
Let's talk about that. What's this
Uh,
recording?
Guy Charles and his buddy Taylor. I don't know his last name. Old friend of mine from.
Is it gonna cost me anything?
You might be surprised.
Should I bring cash?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
He
They-
did mention.
they're only paid in Bitcoin.
He did mention something about the things that the guy's name just Gordon, not Gordon, Dave Ramsey.
Yeah. Dave
His
Ramsey.
name always
I was thinking,
Flies
man,
my
we're getting
memory.
Gordon Ramsay.
no. They're talking about doing something, the things that he won't tell you or he doesn't tell you. So it's kind of like maybe strategical financial
Oh, okay, cool.
advice.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure where they're going
Good.
to
It's
go
tax
with it.
season. I got some questions for this.
Yeah,
guy.
tax season is coming up.
Have you ever read the book Freakonomics?
No.
I
It's,
heard it. I haven't read it.
It's a cool book. It's interesting. It's all the stuff like you said, things that people don't tell you, like CPAs and stuff. When you say you're selling your house and somebody offers you $2,000 less than what you want, and you're like, well, should I? They're like 99.9% of the time, if you go to your realtor's going to say, yeah, it's $2,000, but your realtor's incented to go ahead and sell that property,
Mhm.
not necessarily get you every bit that you're asking for.
Mhm.
You know, it's just stuff like that. It's an interesting book. Maybe they'll. I wonder if they'll be in tune with it.
Yeah.
We'll
I'm
ask.
going to be honest. The majority of the books I have read were read as a class, and I had no choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
a separate piece in Miss
Yeah.
Bonner's
Yeah, I'm
club.
probably
Uh,
in that bucket as well, to be
yeah.
quite honest with you.
I have read a few in my adult life. I read Emmett Smith's biography when I was like 20.
No,
I read the Chris Kyle American Sniper
It's
book.
good.
I'm reading a book right now. I'm like 2 chapters in, but
you read some Stephen Ranella.
yeah, I've read the Ranella books, but I don't know if that's really a book. It's more like a cookbook.
Yeah, with some philosophy in
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So
He is my second favorite philosopher of all time.
well, who's your first?
Bruce Lee.
There you go. There you go.
Bruce Lee.
It's good.
For sure, for sure. Be
Is
like
that-
Walter, my friend.
Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I haven't yet.
Bruce Lee's depicted in
Yeah.
it, and there's
There's
some.
controversy
Yeah.
surrounding.
Did we talk about
I've
that
heard
in
it's
the
a little
episode?
controversial.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I'm not sure if we've discussed it or not, but I want to watch it. I just can't set aside 3 hours.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
we
I know.
broued it up in an episode.
Have you guys seen it?
Yeah, I've
Is
seen it twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is
I
it-
really enjoyed it.
On par with Tarantino's other stuff? Good.
Yeah, I think.
Good.
I personally, I really dug it.
I love me some Tarantino. Not all of it. I don't love all of it. but
Now, it is set. It is a popular Hollywood actor and his stunt double set against the background of the whole what's
Manson murders.
the Manson murders.
Yeah, it's very,
Okay.
I mean, and that makes a neat dynamic in that. I think, and just seeing a lot of the old Hollywood stuff, and then the casualness of stars being introduced here and there, and then
yeah.
just how
Wow.
Tarantino does his stuff. Is
What's
I
your-
like Tarantino.
What's your favorite Tarantino?
Probably Pulp Fiction. If I was held at gunpoint,
Matthew, do you
I
have one?
do enjoy Hateful Eight. Was good.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, I just watched that the other day.
Number one.
It's hard
good
to.
one.
Yeah, I like.
What about Kill Bill?
Kill Bill's good. I like Inglourious Bastards. Like that's a strong one.
Yeah.
Did
Uh,
he help with the first Sin City?
He
He like co-directed, or it's Frank Miller, right?
It's Frank Miller.
But I thought
And they have
Tarantino
a
had
relationship.
some involvement with the first one.
That sounds familiar.
I liked that.
Django.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Was pretty
Django's
good.
great.
Django was good.
That's great.
It's
The
up
only
there
one
for
I'm
me.
not crazy about is was it Foxy Brown?
I never saw that one.
I saw it in theaters. It was terrible.
Yeah,
It's just slow.
I saw Pulp Fiction at a friend's house when I was too young to. Like
Yeah.
my parents got
Yeah.
mad at me, you know.
I did too.
Yeah.
And so at first I was like, "This is a terrible movie. Like this makes no sense." And then as I got to be a little bit older, I was like, "Oh, it's actually genius." you
Yeah,
know?
it's
So
good. It was a game changer. The whole jumping around from chapter to
Mhm.
chapter. and-
What I like about Tarantino is a lot of times you can never tell what time frame they're in. It's kind of ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. People might be dressed
Like
as
Charlie
if they
and-
were in the 70s, but
But
it's
it's-
set in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like
or-
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Like you don't
Yes.
know what country it's in.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre.
Yeah, maybe that plays into making it a timeless classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
Speaking of Charlie
Yeah.
and the Chocolate Factory, I saw an internet meme that said, as opposed to any other kind of meme, that said,
Those ones you find in the library.
or in an old cave.
yeah, and it said, "God bless everybody except for Charlie's grandpa, who laid in bed and had his family toil in utter poverty until they won the golden ticket. And he just hopped right up. And
He hopped right up.
tap danced on over to the, What
I
is
saw
that
the same one.
What is that behind that? Like, why?
I'm
You
not
know?
sure. Did you guys see there was
The whole family laying in one bed,
No, why?
eating cabbage
was,
water.
He was in such bad shape, and all of a sudden he could just go and
Yeah,
like,
well, the same reason, like they're in an American classroom, and the teacher's got an English accent.
Yeah.
Like all the accents are kind of muddled and
Right.
I don't know.
so
But then they clearly have contestants winning from different countries.
speaking of that movie, years ago, and I'm not sure if it were Sci-Fi Channel or something, there was a countdown of the 100 scariest movies of all time.
Hmm.
And that movie was in the top 2 or 3.
yeah,
I think Jaws was number 1, and that one was
Wow.
there.
that the
I'll
tunnel
watch it
scene,
anytime.
man, with the
Yeah.
snakes and stuff.
Oh yeah, as a kid, I was
Yeah.
mortified by that
Yeah.
movie. I was like, wow, this is dark.
Yeah,
I didn't even know
I'll
what
watch it
dark
at any
meant.
point whenever I see it on.
Yeah.
I love it.
the Oompa Loompas were odd too. They made me feel
Well,
weird.
it was just dark
Yeah.
undertones throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And it was
It's a
like
great
it
movie,
was
though.
like a
I love it.
bizarre children's variety hour show, you know.
yeah.
It was like that, but it was just dark the whole time, and you knew it was weird. They would flush kids down tubes, never to be seen again.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was like, nobody's gonna address that. This dude's killing kids.
Yeah.
Augustus.
Yeah.
It was wild,
Veruca.
scary stuff.
Veruca
Oh,
Salt.
we
Is that
got
what they're
way
named after?
off of.
It's a clever little movie, though.
Oh,
Like,
it is, yeah.
Very,
Yeah, it's
very
genius.
well written, and I dig it.
Well, I think what made it so great was the cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. And the I watched the Depp version later, and it's obviously not as good, but it was.
Well,
you
the
know,
platform is there.
yeah.
I was joking with my brother how you know how The Bachelor does, like the limo drops off the contestants like the first show, and they do their spiel or whatever to get noticed.
Right.
Do a Willy Wonka one with a limp
Yeah.
when you're walking with a cane and the cane sticks in the ground. Then you just do the roll and like, ah! I think it'd be freaking cool if somebody would do that. I'd be like, all right, I'm watching voluntarily.
Right.
Gene Wilder, man.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Gene Wilder was great.
Greatness.
He passed not too long ago, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure
He
when,
did, didn't
but
he?
Mm-hmm.
he was great.
A year or two ago.
He,
He was married
in-
to
I don't know.
I'll never guess it. but I
lady
know
from SNL that died. Funny lady.
I wonder if Siri knows.
Come on now.
Google that.
Who
She's got the
was
cool
Gene
name.
Wilder's spouse? Let's see.
It's Gilda Radner.
Gilda Radner.
Yeah,
Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
What was Gilda Radner's
That was his
big character?
That was his
What was it?
fourth wife.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
a bunch. Mary Mercier, Mary Joan Schutz, Gilda Radner,
Gilda
and
Radner,
Karen Boyer. He died in 2016.
her big character that set her apart, and
I don't know. I wasn't
Yeah, that
Rosanna
fan.
Dana.
that
Rosanna Anna Dana.
Yeah, that
That's what it
SNL time I remember very little from.
That's good. She had like a 3-hour special on like ABC about a year ago, maybe. Really cool. I never, of course, knew she married. What's his name?
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder.
No.
Yeah.
He was good. He was a comedic genius.
Oh yes, he was. He was
Yeah.
great in Blazing Saddles
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
was it Young Frankenstein?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was probably his biggest, really.
Th- No, those are all Mel Brooks movies.
Mm-hmm.
And Mel Brooks also did Spaceballs, which is
Yeah.
one of the
Yep.
most underrated comedies of all time, I
Yeah.
think.
That's funny.
That's good stuff.
I
So
like
what do
Mel, I like Mel Brooks, but I don't like Star Wars. So I had a hard time watching that.
Oh, really?
Didn't like
He also
Star
did
I think
Wars.
it was-
Men in Tights.
It was
didn't he?
made for you.
Oh.
Men in Tights is great, too.
Men
Yeah.
in Tights is great.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
movie was made for
I
people
know it
like
should be.
you. If
Yeah.
you're not really
I just
into
never really got into it. I don't know
Wasn't
why.
there a parody of Lord of the Rings, Bored with the Rings, or
I'm
whatever?
not sure. Maybe.
Yeah.
Been a lot of spoofs. The Wayans family did a lot of spoofs, too.
Yeah.
Scary Movie.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I love the scary movies.
They were hot on spoofs for
Didn't
like
they do
late
like
90s and
50 Shades of Black also?
I didn't see that.
I think they did.
Now,
Probably.
You remember Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the
I
hood?
do.
That's right. Yeah.
I do.
I think they did a Leprechaun.
Did they?
Yeah.
I think they did.
Weren't
yeah.
all Leprechauns a spoof, really?
Well-
of the genre.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It was like a leprechaun, or maybe it was Leprechaun in the Hood.
Dude, you talk about terrifying. When Premiere Video and Movie Time were open in Leonard, my brother and I would go in, and we rented a lot of movies that we were not old enough to rent.
Yeah.
Leprechaun being one of those.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what is this? This looks interesting.
Yeah.
Wrong. Mom would come in. What are y'all watching? You know, we'd go every Friday or Saturday. We would go rent a movie or two, depending on what was the special, you know, and like a video game. We get
Yeah.
like Super Nintendo
Yeah,
Royal Rumble.
yeah. Or go rent the Game Genie.
Yeah, and we would beg
just
Mom to
enjoy
let
your
someone
games to
spend
the
the night
fullest.
with us. You know, like some friend of ours. Mom, come on.
Yeah, that's not appreciated much anymore.
The
We'll
spending
go into the video game store and just
Yeah.
sitting there renting one game and just like looking over all those cartridges
Oh, yeah.
and the boxes and
Yeah, you would look at the front
Man,
and
you
like
gotta- you
read the movie bio and
make
then
some decisions,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm
Or scary movies.
You can
know?
get this new movie for $2, or you can get like 5 old movies for $1.50.
yeah. Yeah.
I've been rediscovering Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh yeah,
With my almost 8-year-old. I'm a terrible parent. It's not really meant for. He's such a saint though, because it kind of cusses and stuff. He just turns it down, like
Nice.
voluntarily.
Nice.
He
well,
turns it
look,
down.
he's a mature kid, and as long as you're teaching
Well, he
your
doesn't
kids
want to-
right from wrong,
Yo,
He
yeah.
doesn't want you to hear it and turn it off. Is
no,
what's
no,
happening.
no, no. I'll
He's
come
being-
up there
He's
and
being mindful.
yeah. Well, either way, I'm happy with the
He's-
decision.
oh,
'cause
yeah.
it's thoughtful
Yeah,
decision.
right.
You know?
he's a good kid.
Yeah, but we've been enjoying that game, man. It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, I'm not much of a gamer these days, but I'll go throw back some.
So when you guys used to go rent, what was your genre? Are you comedy guys?
I was
action
comedy. Yeah.
I was comedy and like karate movies,
Guys? Oh man, Kenneth and I were
Bloodsport, and all that.
anything action. A lot of times we would rent everything in the kung fu movie section. Most of it was voiceover, bad.
Yeah, I liked all the weird like Asian kung fu movies that, like you said, are voiceover, but they it was kind of like the Hidden Tiger,
Yeah,
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Of,
yeah. Where
of that era.
yeah, that stemmed from those movies.
Yeah, yeah,
And I hate
Even
to
Kill
say
Bill
it,
too.
yeah.
this is a little Homer Simpson of me, but like sports bloopers.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
football
man.
follies.
Those
and
were a
stuff.
thing. Like
Yeah.
you just go
Yeah.
rent a reel of bloopers and
Yeah,
you go watch
hilarious.
them and
Oh, yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah,
But now we just go to YouTube and
yeah. Do the same
watch
thing.
the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
life's
It's
life's
funny
different.
to rent bloopers on a tape and
What-
go home and like enjoy for like an hour and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
What video games were you guys renting?
The first one that ever comes to mind, and you said the same thing, Tiger Heli,
Yeah.
was one of the ones I remember the
I have
most.
one more popular that you rented a lot.
I think the first game I ever rented was Mario 3.
Really?
Nope.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Nope.
I remember renting like Street Fighter or
Yep.
Mortal Kombat
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mortal
because you'd
Kombat
have a
was big.
friend spend the night and you'd have something to do all
Super
night.
Nintendo days, NBA Jam
Oh yeah,
was big.
yeah.
Oh,
He's
remember
heating
that.
up.
Yeah, that was so fun.
I got the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah,
Gary Payton,
Yeah.
Sean Kemp,
Sean Kemp.
Yep,
the Rain Man,
Yeah.
and the glove.
I had some of his shoes in like 8th grade.
Utah
had-
Jazz was pretty good.
I
'cause
had
you'd have
Gary
Malone and
Payton's
Stockton.
shoes
Oh yeah,
back in the day. They were
There you
awesome. Yeah. Sean Kemp had the big
You remember like the cheat
crazy.
the
Yep,
cheat
I got 'em
codes?
for like $40,
Yeah.
rightfully
you could
priced.
put
I'm
like
sure.
a cheat code in, and their heads would be big. Or
Yep.
those were cool. Cheat code days were cool.
Are there still cheat codes?
Yeah, for some stuff, I'm sure.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is
Everything
NBA
it
Jam
probably
still out
costs you
there?
money now.
No,
You probably have to pay $50 to download.
and
a
you have to
cheat
buy like $10 worth of clothes
after
and
you
stuff
paid
for them to wear.
$100 for the game initially.
Yeah,
So what a rip
We're
off.
about to buy the kids the Oculus Quest.
Oh yeah,
Looking forward to it.
that's cool.
yeah.
They're not going to get to
For the
play it for a
kids?
while. Yeah. I'm going to be like, nope, y'all go upstairs and play that old
No,
Xbox.
let Daddy have a test run to see if it's safe for
That's
you
it.
They're
guys.
gonna be drawing like toys and stuff to play with and
Yesterday we went
interacting
to
with.
Oh,
Nothing.
yeah, it is. Yesterday we went to Obstacle Warrior Kids in McKinney, and then we went over to Main Event in Frisco, and Wyatt and I went and played that virtual reality that they have there. It's just it
Internet
opens up a-
kids. Is that what you said?
Main Event
Oh, sorry.
in Frisco.
Yeah, gotcha.
We played the virtual reality, and it just opens up a whole new world, man. It's crazy. It's so immersive. You know, you're turning around.
Is it dangerous? Are we flirting with something there?
Oh, yeah.
Going to
We
become
certainly are.
self-aware.
Yeah,
You know?
Skynet.
Yeah, or it's
Mm.
going to be like that old movie where like we're actually fighting wars. They're just using kids as like, oh, it's a video game, but it's actually like bombing some
Oh,
third world
man.
country.
Speaking of
Oh.
Skynet and self-aware, I just recently showed my wife Terminator 2, and it still holds up. It's
Yeah.
really well done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, there's a lot of movies in that series now that are, you either like them or you don't, but that one is still really good.
I like the Christian Bale one too.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I like them all, but I'm
too.
not real picky.
Stop it.
Where's the commissioner? Have you guys seen the other
When he
Batman?
finds his voice.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Batman finds his voice.
Oh, I haven't.
Have you not seen it? I'll
No.
send it to you. It's
Yeah.
funny.
Dang.
Where are the drugs? Malkovich? That's
Yeah.
Malkovich. You shouldn't do that.
He has like a
Batman.
frog in his throat, and he's like, "Wait, do that one again."
I was just clearing my throat. Yeah, that's it.
Why is that going?
Yeah, that was good.
There's a whole series of those. It's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm missing out.
So, what have you guys been doing? What did
Oh man, just working
you
really.
working? What about you, Matthew? What
we
did you
had-
do yesterday?
Dad and I did some, or Mom, Dad and I did some crawfish last night.
oh,
Which Dad got one of those big boilers, like 5, maybe 7-gallon boilers. You open the lid up and pour
were
it
these
all
your
out front.
homegrown crawfish?
These are from the crawfish dude on 380 in Princeton.
Oh, okay.
You can buy. He
How
bought
was it?
35 pounds. It's pretty good.
I'm ready, man.
We went through 35 pounds last night. Didn't eat it all, but sadly, it took the water forever to boil up because we had a fitting or something wasn't pumping the gas through
Oh, I
quick
see.
enough. But anyway, we sat there waiting on the water to boil for 3 hours. And we're like,
Jeez.
what is going on here? So we figured it out and
I'm ready for my
then it was
first
easy.
crawfish this
we
year.
get some corn,
Lee's.
asparagus.
Next
Yeah, they do it- was it
Saturday,
monthly
Friday or Saturday,
Is it
they're doing
weekly?
like a Valentine's thing, and that kicks off Lee's Restaurant's first crawfish of the year, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I seen it on Facebook.
They do it like every Saturday. Right?
Yeah, and Lee's does pretty good crawfish, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here in town.
I've had some there.
I've had
They
a
do
lot
it
there.
just
now,
about every
this is one of
Saturday.
those things that that I've brought up that the technology was there for when I was younger.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't it available?
Like what?
Crawfish.
Well, what do you mean by that?
It's seemed to have taken off in Texas, North Texas.
Yeah, but everything has in the last few years.
Yeah,
But why? It's
Look,
always been there.
I think that's more cultural than technology.
And that's what I'm getting at, yeah.
Because like where I grew up, my first part of my life in Buffalo, crawfish was always big. Like
Yeah.
everybody had, during crawfish season, there would be a guy that pulled a trailer and he would sit outside the grocery store and boil, and you'd buy bags of crawfish, and it was just there during the season.
See,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I can't tell you anyone who bowled crawfish.
Right.
Anyone.
Right.
Now, we did a lot of things. I mean, brisket and all the big gathering foods, you know.
Fish fries, maybe.
Yeah, fish fries and things like that. Nobody bowled crawfish.
I spent like the first 5 years of my life in Louisiana. Of course, was introduced
Mhm.
to him there, and this is in the bayou.
yeah.
And of course, we moved up here, and it was like a special occasion when we had, like somebody was driving through Louisiana would pick them up, grandma or something. And that's the only thing I knew about crawfish. And then they were never available at restaurants
Right.
at all. Period. But now, like even Lee's has them, and wow,
Yeah.
you know,
Lee's does them pretty
Is-
good, man.
Is that the internet? People sharing it, and then everybody thinking
yeah,
that
it's
I
got to
have
be.
to try
And
it.
think about other things that just took off like wildfire. I think cornhole, for instance.
Yeah.
When Dad and I built our first cornhole boards, nobody had a set but you guys.
Yeah.
And then now you see it everywhere. It's on Instagram. It's at tailgate parties. It's everywhere. And now everyone plays cornhole. Everybody, even
The
little
technology's
old
been there
ladies.
for
Yeah. I mean,
Millennia.
everybody played washers forever
yeah.
and horseshoes, and it's similar, but cornhole took off like wildfire.
yeah.
Is beer pong still a thing? Is that still
It's
a big
not.
deal?
You'd be really disappointed with
Did
it.
we
I think.
come in on like did we miss beer pong?
No, I think.
I didn't.
No, yeah. In the Denton era,
went-
it was huge.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like,
remember it, and it's a college town,
Yeah.
but it seemed like the kids that came after me, that was their thing.
I interviewed.
We
Maybe
for-
played
you missed it,
quarters,
yeah.
you know, like at drinking parties back in the day. We'd play quarters or something like that.
I interviewed for a pretty decent sized company with the guy who did the ping pong or the beer pong tournaments in Denton. I looked back and I was like, "Hey, dude." He was like, "Team Rectum, right?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, wow, that's a small world.
Yeah.
Wrecked them hell. Killed them
Right?
both.
Damn near killed him.
Damn near killed him.
Yeah, it was funny. I was like, "Man, you look familiar."
Huh.
Anyway, he was the beer pong
Small world.
guy.
I remember that being a big thing for a while, and
Yeah.
now it doesn't seem like.
See, we didn't have many rules to it. It was basically
just
mix
make
them
it.
in the cup and you get them back, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever. And then there's like, swiping rules and blow rules.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
I don't
Have you
know.
seen the ones where they
don't know all
put
the rules.
they put the cups on Roombas
yes.
and they put them on the table and so it
Oh,
won't go
wow.
off the table,
Yeah.
but it's moving? I'm like, dude, there's no way.
It's pretty clever.
That is
Have you
clever.
seen the
Got to be able to afford 2 Roombas though.
Have you guys seen the Roomba knife wars?
No.
Funny.
Really?
You tape a balloon to the back of a Roomba and tape a steak knife to the front of it and just put 2 of them in a pin and just have them
So it's
go at
kinda
each
like
so
Mario Kart battle mode.
yeah, but they just when they hit each other, they just keep turning. Of course, their knives are coming closer and closer to the balloons. So it's really, really intense.
That's funny.
And
man.
eventually, one of them gets popped. But
It's
these
like-
kids are all betting on it. In college,
like
I was like,
Roomba
man,
cockfighting.
Yeah. It's
college has got to be magical now.
It's like the suburban version of like fighting
Cockfighting?
lobsters or
Yeah.
cockfighting or
Yeah.
whatever.
Roomba
Wow.
knife fights.
Yeah.
I remember catching crawfish in a ditch. We'd catch crawdads with bacon and stuff, and then we'd put them all in a big pile, and we would like force them to battle
Fight
each
'em.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the pincher on this one. We'll make
Yeah.
him fight this one. Yeah. He would pick that one up and carry him around over his
About
head.
that time, about to throw my baskets in the pond.
Are you?
How about y'all?
Did
Y'all got
you
your lines ready?
source enough last
was-
summer?
That was
or
my
spring?
experimental season,
Uh-huh.
and this year I'm gonna
Think you're gonna
capitalize
get
on it.
enough to
I'm
have
gonna
a pretty good bowl?
Have a cocktail. I'm gonna keep them every day, I think, and at the
That's
end of the
cool.
week have a big boil for myself.
You grew up with a boat, right? I mean,
So-
you were lake
somewhat.
you were lake people. Your
Yeah.
family was
yeah,
lake
yeah.
people,
later
right?
later in childhood, but yes.
Ashley and I want to buy a boat.
Yeah.
I want to buy a pontoon boat. Ashley does too. But some people are like, what do you think?
I love pontoons.
I think so too.
I want
man.
you to get a bass
Yeah,
boat.
skeeters. Yeah. Everything's a bass boat if you fish off of it.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
don't know, man. You can't get in the shallows. You can't cast off
Yeah.
of the
Pontoons
top
are,
of a dam.
pontoons are good.
Yeah, but
You can get as shallow as you need in a pontoon.
it's not a bass
You drive
boat.
right up on the friggin'
I
can put a
only
fish finder
care
on it.
about bass fishing, and that's the only reason I would ever get a boat was to bass fish. And I'm not gonna do that unless I win the lotto. So
The best bass fishing I've done has been off a
my boat
At a
will be
lake
a
or a
2-man, like a little tiny 2-man bass boat. That's what I will have. Little bitty. I'm talking like an $800 plastic boat with 2 seats on it.
You'd be surprised because I was, we started talking about it and I was like, oh, sounds expensive. But there's actually some decent deals to be had.
Oh yeah.
Like on pontoon boats. I saw one the other day that I would have bought and it was like $5,000.
Yeah.
You know, it
So
was
what are
older.
the major upkeeps for a boat? You have to winterize every boat, correct? Anything
for the
with an
most part, you
outboard
wanna,
motor?
you want to take care of it before it gets cold, and then have them take care of it when it gets better.
So you don't
uh,
want to let old fuel.
Old
Clog
water,
up.
water basically sitting in lines that goes through the engine to
Yeah.
cool it. You don't want that water. You got to flush that line,
and then you need
on whatever
new
engine.
battery, and then what else do you really
Battery's the
need?
big deal. Typically, you're going to go through a battery every year.
So your fuel
You might get lucky.
system and your electrical system, and that's
Stabilize
really
the
it,
fuel.
right? Yeah.
Cloud. You think you fog the cylinders?
I
on-
do that stuff for my lawnmower already.
Yeah, it's fairly simple. I've only done it really on my jet ski, but yeah, we keep ours at Texoma in a dry dock, and there's like a house mechanic that'll do that for you. It's really worth it just to do that.
I
Unless
don't-
you keep it at your house.
I don't know much about boats. Of
I
course,
don't
I know
either.
the old saying, the 2 happiest days in a man's life is
Yeah.
when he buys his first boat and when he sells it.
Yeah.
Bust out another 1,000.
Yeah. But I'm sure it's like most things where if you buy new, you take that initial hit. If you buy
Yeah.
used, you might save yourself a big
It's really buy used or new and just use it.
Yeah.
right.
That's
sure
the
you use it.
thing.
Yeah, how
if
much
you're not
do you
going to
wanna
use
use
it,
it?
don't buy it.
I think if we bought like this spring when it starts getting warm enough, if we bought a pontoon boat, I bet every weekend that we're here, I bet we'd be on the lake.
There's
Yeah.
a new lake coming.
It's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, that's the other thing.
There is a new lake coming.
Better watch out for them zebra mussels.
Yep,
I don't know.
they'll be
Right.
there soon.
Yep.
They're everywhere, right?
I guess.
Can
I've
you
never seen them.
Can you eat
I
zebra
have seen 'em.
mussels?
No, they're
Uh,
really small, like
Oh.
dime size.
Like
Gotcha.
barnacle looking things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see like whales that had barnacles and stuff on
Yeah.
their face?
Yeah.
Doesn't
that's
it look
nasty.
painful?
It does.
It's like a skin tag for a whale.
Yeah.
Nasty. What do you think whale meat tastes like?
I don't know. I
Fatty.
know Inuits eat them, right? Up.
You didn't have any in
Rich.
Alaska?
No, but there
Do they
there
sell
is
that?
place. They don't sell it, but there are places you can go and get like the Inuit version of pemmican, and it's like whale blubber and stuff. And,
You remember
Probably
those
can't eat much.
pemmican commercials?
yeah,
The
yeah,
guys behind like the bull riding stalls, like, "Hey man, you got any pemmican?"
yeah, yeah,
Like that's what
Remember-
they were asking each other for. Come on.
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
got any plan?
You know that they used to be in like they sold it in like medallions. Like
Oh,
those,
yeah.
I bet they're. I used to eat them up as a kid. I bet they're not very good now though.
Right.
So, well, folks,
We're at 45 minutes there,
Yeah.
man.
Wow.
That
Wanna
just went
call
by
it?
real quick.
Yeah, it did.
Well, you know how I'm going to get this on the internet?
903 broadband.
Yeah, I'm going to use our Wi-Fi here. Local internet from local people.
Yep.
You know where they're from? From up on the Red River near Ivanhoe, all the way down to 380. We were talking about 380 in Princeton.
Yep.
All the way down to there. Melissa Whitewright Bells. Princeton to Commerce. Man,
Leonard.
Yeah, based right here in Leonard, Texas, right on 69. Residential and business internet and business plans. I don't know where I was going with that. Jeez, guys.
been a long week.
Jason, what's that number? It's 855
903
903 Flash.
broadband.
And that that email is sales@903bb.com. Sales@903bb.com. James, what was that phone number?
855-903 Flash.
Good memory.
Uh,
That's
no.
exactly correct.
It should be 903 broadband.
It should.
That would be a better phone number. You know?
You spell it out to the
Yeah.
bitter end.
Yes.
Like they used to do for like
Do I
lawyer.
really have to
Or
dial
no,
all this?
Or it's like use your voice, and you're like B-R. No.
Yeah.
You know.
No, you remember those old like lawyer commercials you'd see on like channel 39 during
Yeah.
the day,
Yeah.
and it's like Jim Adler 1-800 tough
Jim
smart
Adler.
lawyer, you know, and you just spell it out on like a touch tone phone.
1-800 I really love carpeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mitch Hedberg does a joke about that. He's like, I
1903
spell it out.
broadband.
I spell it out to the bitter end, man.
That's funny.
So that number is 903 broadband.
With an 855 on the front.
Yeah.
Let's not confuse everybody now. Come on.
That's probably not.
903 Broadband. We appreciate you guys for taking care of us and getting this on the show, on the internet. You guys got anything else?
Local internet for local people by
That's-
local people.
That's exactly what I have written here
Really?
on the paper. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Look.
Did I read it?
Except for
just-
that last
Wow.
part.
Local internet from local people.
Yeah.
Yep.
You didn't even say bye. You said from. That's perfect.
Broadband internet with a smile.
That's what they do.
Yeah,
Anything else, Phyllis?
I just want to hear some Dallas for the Dallas Renegades.